We're glad to have you back. Now let's move in to other conversations that we have this afternoon. Nigeria presents significant opportunities for entrepreneurs, particularly in sectors like agriculture, e-commerce, and real estate. Though challenges like infrastructure and regulations exist, entrepreneurship is crucial for job creation, poverty reduction, and economic development in Nigeria. Though the success rate of some small and medium enterprises across the board can be low in some cases, challenges exist in Nigeria, not just Nigeria, across the globe, presenting, of course, a promising landscape for entrepreneurs who are willing to navigate the obstacles and capitalize on the opportunities. By addressing the infrastructure deficiencies, regulatory hurdles, and access to finance, the government can create a more conducive environment for entrepreneurship to flourish and drive economic growth. Well, let's hear her story. Have one of them making significant impact in the interior design space. I have with me Kehinde Fadahunsi. She's the managing director of Ellarose Interiors and Customs Rugs Limited. It's good to have you in the studio. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Tolulope.
Yeah, I think we should start with you've made a lot of impact, I must say, Kehinde, in what I've seen in the interior design regulatory design industry. Can you tell us about your journey, the beginning of this, and how it's been?
Okay, I pretty much started interior designing by simply sourcing. Right at the time, I was pregnant and I was about to leave my job. So I needed to have a plan after maternity leave. So I started sourcing unique items, like products that I knew that people would be able to wait for. So when I went to America, I started posting those pictures on my social media, and people started finding me. My customers started finding me, and they started ordering those items. So I made a lot of money from just sourcing. And then by the time I got back, I used the money to redesign my house, just so that, you know, the actual passion I wanted to showcase would be seen. So I used the money from sourcing to design my house, and people started patronizing me, calling me to design their houses. Now, remember, I already have a clientele base who are mostly interior designers who order items, interior items. Those are the people I source for, right? So they started challenging me. They would tell me to make them rugs. They would tell me to make them, you know, anything. My first rug that I made was like a blanket. And my customers accepted it just like that, because I didn't know the materials that went into rug making, right? So I started digging, you know, to know more about rug making, and the orders kept coming. So at the time, I was doing interior designing. I was procurement and sourcing for interior designers, and then I was also making rugs. So in the space of, I think, 6 months, I got a big project, you know, and they asked me to source over 3,000 blinds for them and then make 170 pieces of rugs for them. And that was a flop as well. The rugs, all the rugs came in like duvets, and the client accepted them. But the money we made from there, we used it to, you know, open our first showroom, and then started producing rugs, you know, from abroad. So that was where the passion for rugs started from. And my customers just grew and grew and grew, relying on me to, you know, produce them rugs. So yeah, that was how that started. Well,
you've covered a niche for yourself now in the interior design industry. Now, what are some of the initial challenges you faced? You've almost highlighted some in your first submission when you started this rug business. Okay,
so the major challenge we faced were artisans. Now, a lot of people, all the people we hired, they'd never heard about rug making before. In fact, they didn't even know what that meant or what the process was. So it took us a lot to train those guys to become what they are today. Now, it wasn't only just about training them to become what they are today, because we also were our interior designers by ourselves. We know what it means to pay attention to details. Now, these guys, when they started, in fact, we started producing 7 months now, and it took them about 4 to 5 months to understand the detailing that it requires to get a perfect international standard rugs. Sometimes their yarns would mix in colors. So we did a lot of training for that aspect of people. Now, the second challenge we faced, or we're facing currently, is the availability of yarns, right? Yarn is the primary material we use to make rugs. Okay. Now, in Nigeria, we saw only about 30 pieces, 30 colors available in the market. Okay. So there's a factory that produces yarns, and they can only produce 30 different colors. But we work with over 100 different colors because our interior designers are very creative. You know, they come up with different crazy design concepts that they want us to implicate. And then because we already service them from international orders, we have to match their request in Nigeria. So the availability of those many colors is a really big challenge right now. So we could start a production, the rug is about to finish, but the color will finish, and then we have to wait another 2 weeks to import. So that is a really, big problem. The second one is electricity, or should I say stable, light supply. Where we currently are, our factory in Nigeria is, they said is a band A location. And to my surprise, band A has power supply 1 time a day, and then two days no light, And then, unfortunately for us, we also didn't have meter at the time. So we're paying a lot for electricity. So that is, it cripples, small businesses like ours. And the third issue, I would say, is just pretty much meeting client demands. Like I said, most of our clients are designers currently, and they come up with crazy, intricate designs, but we're happy to do, that. But that's also part of the things that, we find a bit challenging. A client said we should draw a traditional Calabar man on a rug. We should put their, shekere or whatever on the, and, those kinds of things, they're a bit challenging, but, we'll take those kinds of challenges any day.
You've been using your funds, relying on your funds to run this business. Now, what impact has this had on your ability to expand?
Whew. Honestly, it's a limiting factor. Using the funds that we currently have, because we do so many things as well. So if one area is bringing money today, it might not bring in money tomorrow. Another area of business will bring in money tomorrow. And we've just been limited by our own finances or resources to expand. So we have a dream, or we have a mission, or we're on a mission to create different, types of rugs, and in large demands. We even have dreams to get partners, from all those Tejuosho guys, but we can't do that. We have requests lying down for collaboration from our interior design colleagues who own showrooms, and they want us to be their, rug suppliers. But we can't, tap into that currently because of funding. Now, it's very limiting, and we're trying to see how the Bank of Industry can help us.
Yeah, lots of BOI.
Yeah, so we've gotten this far. I mean, we are at the final stage. But you know what? Unfortunately, the commercial banks aren't ready to support.
The interest rates are even very high, I must tell you. I know.
For the commercial banks?
Yes.
Yes, but they want us to come to them directly. They don't want us to go to BOI. So they're not giving us letter of intent or bank guarantee to go to BOI. So that's where we are currently. To say, we're just stuck, and we just have to, maybe leave that there. I don't know what the government can do about that. Because we've gone that far. We've been approved to go on, but no bank is willing. We've had to open new accounts to see if they're going to, so it's crazy. It's crazy currently.
That's really serious. When we have small businesses like this and they are not encouraged, how do you want them to grow so that you can employ more people?
Really?
Despite the challenges, you've made remarkable progress. What's that drive? What's pushing you? What's that thing?
Yeah, for me,
passion? What is it?
It's more than passion. It's really, really more than passion. My clients, once my clients are satisfied, a satisfied client makes me so happy, right? Because it just validates what we're doing. You know, when I order a rug from my client from abroad and they see the actual product, they commend me and say, oh, Kehinde, this is really nice. But now, once they see that it is now made in Nigeria, they're going bonkers. They're like, I can't believe it. This is made in Nigeria. So that keeps me going, right? And then just the bare fact that we're not just a business or a product. We are on a mission to prove that, you know, we can rival the international market, right? We need people to see that, right? So that also keeps me, you know, focused, you know, against all odds. One of the other things that keeps me going is the mere fact that my team, the production team, who from nowhere, they didn't imagine that they would be making rugs. They are now so good. I'm having to tell them that you guys are so good. If you guys leave me, you can't leave me at this point. So, you know, just knowing that I'm impacting lives, right, keeps me going.
That sounds really, really good. Now, what would be your view about opportunity of local manufactured products? And, you know, because many talk about in-country, let's promote in-country production and all of that. Are you seeing that happen? And what more do you think government can do to support businesses like yours, particularly to encourage patronage of made in Nigeria products?
Yeah, so the first question you asked was, you know, what do I see about local products?
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like local products should be given a chance, right? Because there's so much, you know, there's so much the consumers can harness from buying local, right? But the challenges are the belief. They don't trust the brand enough, right? But you can't trust a brand that you haven't experienced, right? So we encourage, you know, for our own business, the only way we know that they can trust us is by experiencing us, right? So that's for that one. How can the government help us? I 100% believe that the government needs to be intentional about, you know, funding, making funding accessible to indigenous markets, right? They need, or to small businesses like us, they need to be intentional about that. What are the steps? What are the ways? Why am I stuck? You know, even when I'm talking to the government, why are commercial banks not supporting the government initiative to help us, right? So that's one. Another thing that government can help us with is that power supply. That is a big problem. Why? Why do we have to pay, you know, for like 7 days of light, we're going to be paying 900K or something ridiculous like that? Why? You know, someone has to look at that. Another problem, another thing that government can help us with is raw materials. We can't always be importing. We can't. We can't survive on importation. Our clients cannot wait for, you know, the materials to come before we now start production. So the government needs to look into, you know, all these areas for us.
Let me ask you where you see yourself in a few years, your kind of business.
Honestly, in India, this kind of business will run for over 30 years, generation to generation. So this business is honestly my retirement plan. My children are going to take over. I see it moving from just rug production to the entertainment, arts and craft. You know, we want to take it from just this niche that we've created to even people to experience, people to come and experience, you know how they do those sip and paint and all of that. Just come to the experience center and come and sip and tuft or something. That's where, you know, we want to take it in the next, you know, couple of years, maybe.
Interesting conversation. Kehinde Fadahunsi is the managing director, Ellarose Interiors and Custom Rugs. Thank you so very much for joining us on the show this Friday. We really appreciate this.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your weekend, and I hope to see you again.
Yes.
Maybe by then we'll be coming for the commissioning of your
yes, please, yes,
your showroom or something.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.
All right, there will be